It gave me a place to talk to others who were just like me and knew what it was like to be in a firefight. We knew how to joke about things that at the time we cried.
Hey, my name is Bill Marion, and this is A Nose for Life. In today's video, I'm taking my dad out for a great joyride, and we're going to have some amazing conversations. So stick around all the way to the end of this video. I know you're going to love it. The last time I made a video exclusively featuring my dad was, I guess, when the channel first started, and we were talking about PTSD related to Vietnam, and it was basically about how his life was going. And honestly, it was a darker time for Dad. It wasn't a great time. In fact, I was trying to get him out of the house to encourage him, and things even got darker after that. But since then, over the past 5 or 6 years, Dad has made a remarkable recovery. I hope this video is encouraging to those of you who have been a subscriber with our channel for a very long time, that there's hope to improve things regardless of how old you are or whatever your situation is. There's hope, and so there's ways to make connections, and in this video we're going to talk about those with Dad, and I'm hoping that you'll stick around again all the way to the very end. This was a spontaneous trip for Dad and myself along the Skyline Drive in Virginia as well as the Blue Ridge Parkway, and that in itself says so much about Dad's mental health now compared to just a few years ago. Back then, Dad seldom left the house and would never take a trip for an unspecified amount of time into the mountains like he's doing today. By the way, we released that video about Dad's PTSD back in 2017, so it's only 4 years ago and not 5 or 6 like I said earlier. But I guess that depends on when you're watching this video. Anyway, you're most likely never going to see that video on your recommended page. YouTube restricted that video because of the way I presented some of the information. Back then, I didn't understand and I was really upset with YouTube. But now, well, I get it. Nevertheless, I left a link in the description of this video, and you really need to check it out when you get time. I'm not sure if YouTube will let me, but I'm going to try to insert a tab in the top right-hand corner of your screen in just a moment. I'm proud of that video because first, I'm proud of my dad. He's accomplished so much over his life, and over the past several years, he's been so courageous. The second reason I love that video is because, well, it forced me to learn more about editing. I wanted to tell his story to the best of my ability, but my editing skills back then didn't match my creativity. Don't get me wrong, I would make that video differently now. The audio mix was terrible. In fact, the audio mix in many of my videos I made over the first couple of years, well, it was terrible. But what I learned from making that video proved to be a giant step for this channel, even though the video doesn't have that many views because, well, it's been kind of hidden. Finally, I love that video because the guy in that video isn't the same person you're seeing in this video. And if you watch both videos, you'll see what I'm saying.
Detroit Lions.
No.
They're 0-6. They're the only team in the NFL that hasn't won a game. This last week, the Chargers hadn't won in the last 20 games, and they won. The Lions, and I heard they had a good draft this past year, and I believe they are cursed. They said a witch went on the field and did that and cursed them. And they brought somebody in to lift the curse. But apparently it's not lifted because they stink. I mean, and they're playing the Rams this coming week, which you know they're going to lose to them.
Let me explain why this is a really big deal while I show you some amazing scenery. Dad loves football and taught me the game. Being from Detroit, he's a Lions fan. But being that I was born in Detroit but only lived a few years in Michigan and after mostly in the South in Tennessee, I allow myself 2 teams to follow. And thankfully, that helps me through the NFL season because if you're a Lions fan, you know humility. No one brags about being a Lions fan. Rather, we are forever waiting on one of 2 things to happen: a miraculous championship season or the forge to sell the team. My dad's been forever waiting longer than I've been forever waiting. In fact, I watched the Lions lose with my dad since, well, I can remember. I can be rather nostalgic about watching the Lions lose. But during this video recorded back in 2017, years, maybe even a decade had passed since Dad had kept up with a single game. Nothing entertained him, including watching the Lions lose. I mean, if you're a Lions fan, watching the Lions lose on Thanksgiving is sort of a family tradition. But during this time, he was in a constant state of depression. I remember asking if he watched a particular game, and he responded, I didn't even know it was football season. And it was late October, the same time of year as this video, and about the same time of year as the video recorded back in 2017. It was obviously football season. But in this conversation, it was the first thing he wanted to talk about, which is normal for any Lions fans, to talk about how bad they stink.
And they're playing the Rams this coming week, which they're going to lose to them.
By the way, if you're watching this in the future, please leave a comment and let us know how the Lions are doing. I hope they're doing great, but let's face it, the odds are against them. Regardless, Dad's enjoying football again. And that he's enjoying anything, that's a really big deal.
I'm in my golden years, and I remember my dad and other older people saying, you get here so fast you don't know how you did it, and that is the God's truth. But I went through a very serious down time in my life after when I was living alone and just had my dog. Well, you have to understand, the day we left is the day that I had to put my dog down. The day we came to Virginia. My heart, you were there. I was a mess. But when we moved to Virginia, I didn't want to, but now that I'm here, I joined the VFW, the Veterans of Foreign Wars. And to join them, you have to have been a combatant. You have to have been in a war zone, fought, whatever you want to call it. That picked me up to no end, or else I couldn't be talking to you like I'm talking to you now. It gave me a place to talk to others who were just like me and knew what it was like to be in a firefight or something like that. We knew how to joke about things that at the time we cried. But now, 50 years later, 50 years later, that's how long it's been since I was in Vietnam. 50 years. God, 50 years. Isn't that when the gold rush was? I mean, I'm trying to think 50 years ago. I spend my time at the VFW. I am the chaplain there, and I behave like the chaplain and do what's required. I go to the funerals, the funeral homes. There are times where the chaplain will go to a senior citizen place just to visit veterans. It should be understood that the golden years are much like these leaves. No one can say I died young. My dad always said that. I'm 70, I'd like to live to maybe, if I lived to be my dad's age, that was 73, and that's 3 years away. But Dad had leukemia. Uncle Bill lived to 79. But nevertheless, if I died now, I feel like my life has been full. I mean, I've seen things other people only dream about. I have a son that pastors now, so he's a third generation pastor. My dad, and it skipped one generation, but my great-grandfather, which would be his great-great-grandfather, was a minister.
When I made this video back in 2017, Dad wasn't even driving. In fact, he didn't have a car for a while. Dad seldom left the house. It was like he had given up on life. Even getting him to record that video was very difficult. Now, Dad has life again, and he's contributing to society through his activities with the VFW. He's the chaplain. Are you believing that? Dad's recovery wasn't overnight, and he didn't do it alone. Listen, I realize that YouTube videos are for an international audience with varying beliefs. And these days, people are easily offended, so many YouTubers walk on eggshells when it comes to their personal beliefs. But a part of my faith is sharing what I believe. Dad's recovery is due to his faith in Jesus Christ, the Son of God. And God never intended for us to do life alone. It took so much courage for Dad to move with us to Virginia and re-engage into life. It took courage and faith requires action. He started taking the necessary steps and forming the right relationships. Dad is also under the care of doctors who want to see him enjoy, as he puts it, his golden years. Like Dad mentioned, he joined the VFW and made lots of friends who really care about him. A community is so important to our mental health. You know, I love our channel's community. Some of the sweetest people I've ever met have been right here on this channel. If I start naming names of all the people I've interacted with over the years on this channel, I'll never get through this video. You know, people like Bren, Juan, Billy, the other Billy. Okay, I'll never stop. As much as I love our community, you also need healthy personal relationships that the internet just can't provide. And make no mistake, mental health is serious business. And if you're struggling with depression, you don't have to struggle alone. There is help. Many times on YouTube, you'll hear content creators provide a disclaimer stating something like, "I'm not a professional, so blah, 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 blah." Well, here's the thing. I don't hide the fact that I'm a pastor. I believe that God can heal a broken heart. So I would encourage you to accept Christ as your Lord and Savior. I mean, why not? All you have to do is ask Christ to be Lord of your life and to forgive you of any wrong in your past, and then believe that Christ saved you. It's really that easy. After that, talk to God every day, all the time, and begin learning about God by reading the Bible and find a Bible-believing church. That really helps. And get involved with people by serving others. You know, when you're serving others, it really gets your mind off your own issues, and it also gives you purpose. And by the way, it's okay to seek medical help as well. You know, Dad's still being treated for depression and anxiety, and he still has some bad days and even bad weeks. That leads me to the last thing. Learn to celebrate any good day. Celebration is important, and for Dad and myself, this was a good day. No, it was a great day. It's a day to celebrate. But if you're watching this video and the pain is so deep that you don't want to live any longer, I've left several links in the description. Please check the links. Please take a step of faith and call one of the numbers I've provided. At the very least, contact us on Facebook at Bill Marion Life, and we'll try to help you get the help you need as quickly as possible. All year, in all seasons, there's hope. I am so grateful for the conversation that Dad and I had up here on Skyline Drive and Blue Ridge Parkway, and his willingness to be a part of this video. We drove all day long, Skyline Drive, Blue Ridge Parkway with the top down, and he let me drive, which is a rare occurrence. And so I'm very grateful for that too. I'm also thankful that you watched this video. Please hit the like and subscribe button. My name is Bill Marion, and this is A Nose for Life. If you like this video, I'm sure you'll like one of these videos as well.